Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23ABC News Midday starts now.
Good morning and thanks for joining us for 23ABC News at 11 a.m. I'm Danielle Kernkamp.
And I'm Mike Hart. President Trump is gearing up for a swing through the western states this week, which includes a stopover in Bakersfield. 23ABC's Daniela Garrido joining us live from Meadows Field with more on the president's trip. Daniela?
That's right. We are at Meadows Field Airport, and unfortunately, we weren't able to talk to the administration because they are closed for the President's Day holiday. But you can see over here a C-5 Air Force airplane is here at Meadows Field Airport. Many speculating that it has something to do with the president coming in 2 days. Again, we were not able to confirm that with Meadows Field, but we do have video of what it looked like earlier. You can see military and business attire coming in and out of the airplane, but not sure exactly what they were carrying. Or if it was staying here in Bakersfield. Now, we did also speak with the Jet Center that is right next door to where this aircraft is, and they also said that they probably assume it has something to do with President Trump coming on Wednesday. He is scheduled to be here as well as at other Southern California events on Wednesday and in Phoenix. Again, no confirmation if this has anything to do with the president's arrival, but definitely a lot of people interested out here. The moment I got out here, I could see families taking pictures. There's also KCSO here just making sure that everything is under control. As more information becomes available, we will make sure to update you on our website, turn23.com. For now, we are live at Meadows Field Airport. I'm Daniela Garrido, 23ABC News, connecting you.
All right, Daniela, thank you. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Elena Rusk and see what's going on outside for our 11 a.m. forecast.
Yeah, the next several days will be beautiful weather out there. So as you can see, we have a dry weather pattern in place. We had sunny 70s over the weekend. There were some clouds and some breezes coming through overnight, but that wind advisory for the mountains and deserts was allowed to expire earlier this morning. And we've warmed up to the 40s in the mountains. Not very warm, I know. And we've jumped up to the 60s for places like Cal City, Mojave, Rosamond, Ridgecrest, and China Lake. Bakersfield just now getting to 61 at this hour. Still some 50s in the North County. So it's a cool February morning out there, but we're going to enjoy these low 60s from noon all the way through this afternoon on this President's Day. That is down from the 70s we had this weekend, but it's actually pretty seasonal. So you can enjoy a temperature of 66 to head out to see the Harlem Globetrotters at Mechanics Bank Arena at 2. And you'll also have that 66 for your high today up in Kernville for Whiskey Flat Days, the final day.
Many Americans are off work today in honor of President's Day. The federal holiday takes place on the third Monday in February. President's Day occurs during the birth month of two of the country's most prominent presidents, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Throughout the U.S., communities and organizations hold public ceremonies to commemorate the day. And the federal holiday is impacting any planned visits to Bakersfield city offices. They'll be closed all day in observance of the holiday. They'll reopen tomorrow and return to their normal hours. Curbside trash and recycling services will not be impacted by the holiday closure.
Now to Washington, where Attorney General William Barr is under growing pressure to step down over his involvement in the Roger Stone case.
More than 1,100 former Justice Department officials are accusing Barr and the president of interfering in the, quote, fair administration of justice and giving preferential treatment to the president's longtime friend.
ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi's in Washington with more.
In a scathing rebuke of the country's top law enforcement official, more than 1,100 former Justice Department officials penning an open letter calling on Attorney General William Barr to resign for interfering in, quote, the fair administration of justice. The letter, part of the growing backlash against Barr for intervening to lower the Justice Department's sentencing recommendation for President Trump's longtime confidant Roger Stone, after Trump tweeted the initial recommendation of 7 to 9 years was, quote, horrible. But Barr, speaking with ABC's Pierre Thomas, denied coordinating with the White House in the Stone case.
So just to be clear here, did you talk to the president at all about your decision regarding the recommendations?
The recommendations on this case? Never.
White House senior counselor Kellyanne Conway telling Fox News on Sunday that the president was venting to the world, not interfering in a criminal case.
He didn't have a conversation with Bill Barr about the Roger Stone case. He had a conversation with the whole world.
But former DOJ officials say the president's public comments on DOJ matters have gravely affected the department's credibility. But Barr's actions in doing the president's personal bidding unfortunately speak louder than his words. In their letter to Barr, the former DOJ officials called on others to, quote, uphold their oath of office if they face political interference at the Justice Department. The 4 career prosecutors who handled Stone's trial have resigned from the case, and now Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling for the Inspector General to launch an investigation into the matter.
Bill Barr has done Trump's bidding instead of protecting rule of law, which is what an attorney general is supposed to do.
And Judge Amy Berman Jackson, who's presiding over Stone's trial, has ordered the Justice Department and Stone's lawyers to participate in a telephone hearing on Tuesday ahead of Stone's sentencing on Thursday. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
And it's a busy week ahead for Governor Gavin Newsom as he puts the finishing touches on his State of the State address. The governor is set to go before a joint convention of the California legislature Wednesday at the state capitol. There's no word yet on what topics will be covered. The address will be live streamed at 10:30 in the morning. You can watch it on our social media platforms and our website, turn23.com.
The Bakersfield Police Department arrested an armed gang member in a stolen vehicle in southeast Bakersfield on Sunday. According to BPD, officers were dispatched to East Brundage Lane and Cottonwood Road for a stolen vehicle at about 4 p.m. Officials say the vehicle fled prior to officers arriving, but was located shortly after in the 1500 block of Lotus Lane. According to the release, the suspect, Andrew Chavez, fled on foot, but was arrested by officers shortly after. Chavez was booked into the Kern County Jail for possession of a gun and gang charges.
In health news, hundreds of Americans who had been quarantined aboard a cruise ship in Japan are now back in the U.S. as we discover that more than a dozen of them have contracted the coronavirus.
Those 14 passengers were kept apart from the others on the flight and now face being placed in isolation here at home amid deeper concerns about the virus spreading globally. ABC's Trevor Ault has the latest.
Today, 300 U.S. passengers from the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan are back on American soil, now in quarantine at a pair of military Air Force bases in California and Texas.
Okay, here's my room. It's actually quite amazing.
Mark Jorgensen was on board one of the flights back.
There was an isolation section and it was all tented off. They took temperatures, and if you had a high temperature, you went into that isolation booth.
At least 14 of those passengers have tested positive for the coronavirus and will remain in isolation in the U.S., though it's unclear where. The uninfected cruise ship passengers will be placed in quarantine on those 2 military bases for 2 weeks. And globally, there have now been more than 71,000 cases of coronavirus, including 1,700 deaths, and concern is only mounting that the virus will continue to spread. Over the weekend, on another cruise ship in Cambodia, an 83-year-old American was diagnosed with coronavirus just 1 day after more than 2,200 passengers and crew disembarked from the ship, many of them already traveling to other destinations around the world.
This might be the tip of the iceberg phenomenon. We really need to know how many people are exposed, how many people are infected, and how many people are sick. And if the number's sick, in this case, 1, remember, tip of the iceberg.
The Americans under quarantine will be closely monitored by medical professionals while they wait on those Air Force bases. By the time they're released, they'll have been under quarantine for about a month. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
In other news, the price of wine is expected to drop to its lowest level in 5 years. Analysts say a surplus of California grapes combined with a drop in demand is to thank for this. The cheaper prices could last 3 years. Vineyards in Northern California began planting thousands of acres of new vines about 4 years ago, expecting demand to go up. But now that the grapes are ready, numbers show Americans are actually turning more to liquor and ready-to-drink cocktails.
And a reminder, The Bachelor Live on Stage is no longer coming to Bakersfield. The event, which was set for today, has been canceled due to an unforeseen scheduling conflict. All ticket buyers can reach out to their point of purchase for a full refund.
And here's something a little different, a live look from Big Bear. This is Eagle Cam. We're told there are 2 eggs in the nest that are very close to hatching. The parents are known as Jackie and Shadow.
Aw, the eggs were laid on January 8th and 11th, according to the U.S. Forest Service. Officials are expecting to start to crack today or tomorrow. Completely emerging from the shell, though, could take another day or 2. They had a successful hatching last year. It was a young eagle named Simba.
Simba, how appropriate.
Yeah.